Let's go.
That's the move. And speaking of moves, it's now time to make our move now into Pace Pals. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Is that our theme song? Can we actually get a full
Yeah.
scattered theme song from you?
Well, all right, boys, it's time to roll out the red carpet. It's Pace Pals.
Oh, I like that. Welcome back to another week of Pace Pals. We are previewing the Pace Finals this week. We have our dear friend, our honored guest, Wes, back with us. Wes, how you doing?
I am doing quite well here today. As of this recording, it is Memorial Day. We get an extra day off from work, and I am loving the extra day to coop up, relax, and frankly get back into the Mario because Pace is on the horizon, boys.
Pace is on the horizon.
Almost
You
there.
may get a day off of work. Zeas and I, this is business. I will remind everyone we quit our jobs. All of our eggs are in this basket, and we're grinding. We're out here. Everyone else, the rest of America, taking the day off. Not us. Not us.
Nope. No days off.
That grind set, baby. Zeas, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm very, very glad to be so close to Pace Summer here in just over a week. I think it's gonna be great. I think at Pace, the finals, we got a lot going in that could still be up in the air. So I can't wait to break it down with you both and kind of see what we're now thinking a few weeks after our qualifier 3 recap. It's been like a month?
Yeah, a little more, right? I mean, it's 2 months.
Oh wow.
Because it was the end of March 24th.
That's true.
I don't remember when we did the recap though.
Yeah, I might have a date in here. Or I might not. Let's see how organized I was. I was not organized enough. I have XX March 2024. Bummer.
Oh god. It's a shame. All right, hold on. I'm checking the channel.
Yeah, check the channel. See when we upload, it'll be like a week before that. I feel like.
Yeah, hold on.
Man, how do I not have a drum roll in this thing?
Round 3 it was.
Hear that.
The episode dropped on April 3rd.
April 3rd. Okay, so
April
yeah,
3rd.
it's been almost 2 months. Which makes sense. It's been a long gap since the third qualifier. We knew we were going to be in for a little bit of a drought. We've been hitting you guys with the interviews. I hope everyone's been enjoying those. But now we got to get down to business. We got the finals on the horizon. Boys, what do your travel schedules look like?
I am taking off from good old Massachusetts on the Wednesday. So June 5th, right before the LTA starts. I'm driving at the break of midnight or just after, beat all of the traffic because I got to go through that whole like New York section,
True.
all that bullshit. So beat all of that and be in Maryland by probably like 10 a.m. or something.
Wow,
Nice and early.
that sounds rough. I wish you the best of luck.
I'll probably have to take a nap or two. Although I gotta pick my friend up from the airport who's going. And Wes, I think I'm still picking you up, right? Is that still the plan?
I believe that is still the plan. I have been debating on whether or not to get a rental car of my own, but as of right now, that is the plan in action.
Okay. Okay.
So Wes, you're
Yeah,
flying out Thursday morning then, or Wednesday?
Wednesday morning.
Got
or Wednesday afternoon. I'll be flying out Wednesday afternoon, landing about 5 o'clock Eastern. I believe right now is the schedule, and I'm just also gonna let Z is the reason I might even contemplate a rental car. I've decided to consciously take an effort back on commentary this go around. I've been heavily involved in comms for the last 3 paces and even some other runs here and there, which Zeus, by the way, congratulations for CCR reaching out to you for the drums commentary.
Oh, thanks, man. I had no idea you knew about that.
He reached out to me asking about it. I told him I'm not gonna do too much comms. I've been to the last 3 paces, and I don't think the farthest I've ventured away from the venue is the bowling alley with the arcade. So I genuinely just want to put in an effort to explore the surrounding area. So I don't want to be too glued to the venue. But then he told me, he's like, yeah, let me know if you do reconsider. I've already asked Zeas and might look for one more.
Hell yeah.
So we could have both of you in the booth?
Possibly.
Oh, shit.
That'd be hype. That'd be hype. CZR is doing the 70-star drum percent run. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. The 16-star run was already pretty sick last year, so I didn't even know he was grinding 70.
Let me ask you this: what do you think his time is going to be for that 70-star run?
What was the 16-star time? Like a mid 20? Like a 25?
It was a 20. The one he got most recently at pace was a 22.0x, I want to say.
70 stars just so much more difficult. I know. I talked to him. He said he was like changing up the route a little bit, so he's not going to do like the traditional 70-star route that we're all used to. So he is changing up a little bit, maybe to just like make it a little bit quicker, easier, just on drums. I'm gonna say final time for CZR, hour 10.
I was gonna say 108.
Hour 10.
So unless he's done something in the last couple of years, I believe his world record is in the 120s range. So I'm gonna play save and go hour and 30.
Okay.
Oops. Feel like we went a little aggressive there.
Gio's a believer in CZR. That's all that means.
There you go.
I've been studying the tape. I know where he is, the time loss. I know. I have look. I sim an analysis. All right, 108, easy. Book it. Put the money on it.
Let's lock it in. 108 official prediction from Gio Gringo here for CZR.
Let's write this down.
Wes is my bookie. It's just his book right there. He's bookkeeping. Not actually my bookie. Now that I'm in California, I feel like I need to make it very clear. I'm not gambling.
Hey man, bookies are still a thing even though it's been legalized.
True. I mean, also in California, the whole Shohei Ohtani thing.
Oh, right.
But anyway, let's talk pace.
Yeah, speaking of Ohtani, here's some goats we're going to be talking about here.
True. We got a lot of goats for you. We got 7 of the best in the business competing in Laurel, Maryland, going head-to-head for 3 days of LTA action in 120. The standings after the third qualifier will just refresh your memories. We got Cheese, Ouija, and Beast tied for second, Callie in fourth, and then Blue Bob, Punke, and Gothic bringing up 5, 6, and 7 spots. I actually forgot that Blue Bob technically qualified over Punke. I know Punke he didn't complete any runs, I don't think, during the third qualifiers. And so obviously you get a lot of funny stuff happening there. Ouija coming away with 40 points because of his 2 first places, but then didn't compete. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a great 3 days, a great LTA ahead of us. We did do predictions before on the last recap, and we'll go over those at the end. Before we do that, we're going to kind of talk to you just about some takeaways we've had about the qualifiers in general, and then we're going to try to update everyone on kind of what's been going on with each of these runners since the last qualifiers. Any PBs, any pacers, we are the Pace Pals, and anything else that we thought was kind of noteworthy. Jumping into it, I just wanted to kind of touch on, a way we haven't looked at this before, the top times across the entire qualifiers. I looked at the top 10, not super surprising. We've talked about the top 3 before. Ouija in the first event with the 136.43. At the time, it was the second fastest run ever. Not so anymore. Parsi and... Wait, who's in... I have it right for me.
Parsi, I think, has the 136.44, which would still be a second slower, but second place is Kareen with a 136.29, I want to say. Yeah,
it's a 129, and also that's an improvement from a 136.48 earlier. I guess that would be better. But lots of 136s now. We've had at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, which is pretty crazy. Maybe we'll see one live in Laurel. And then Ouija's second qual's time, 138.15. Obviously the second place time. Beast just needed 138.16. Only a second slower than Ouija's time in the second qualifier. And then, we got Callie in fourth at a 138.30. Punke rounding out the 138s at a 138.48. Pretty interesting that only 5 138s are better in the 3 qualifiers, which says that if somebody's able to get a 138, that's a pretty good shot of either winning or for sure podiuming, I'd say, in this LTA in Maryland. And then the bottom 5 are almost exclusively cheese and Punkay with Dowski sprinkled in there, just kind of underscoring how consistent Punkay and cheese are, that they make up 50% of the top 10 by themselves. So it's, it looks like we really do have this battle of consistency versus whatever perfectionism, I guess you could call what Ouija does, coming up in the LTA and Laurel.
Yeah, I mean, Ouija is just always the person to, like we've alluded to it in past episodes, but he's just the person to not really need to commit to a run, or doesn't really want to commit to a run that he's not like super happy with. So I would say perfectionism is kind of a good way to put it. Just, a small mistake, throw the run out. Like, he knows he's capable of getting another run, even if it's like a pretty late run, and like a pretty big mistake happens that wouldn't prevent him from even getting like a 138 or something like that. But he knows his skill as a player is like, it allows him to get kind of right back into where that run was, and just kind of do it again. So yeah, no, Ouija and perfectionism is a pretty dynamic duo. Going into these grand finals here.
Yeah, they go way back, and I think it's a combination too. I mean, it's what you said, Zeas, obviously, but then it's just like he has no tolerance for these mistakes. Like, he knows he can do better, so it's like, why would I ever allow that to be in my PB? He wants the perfect run every time, and I mean, he's gotten it twice, really. I think the 137.35 before carpetless was, I mean, it was an insane PB. And then obviously this 136 with, am I wrong in remembering that there's like a lot of time loss in the end of this? Wasn't it like 135 pace until late?
I believe it was
that?
135 up until Tippy. I don't recall
Yeah.
where the time loss comes into play, but it was technically a 135 5x best possible.
Okay, so it might have been tough. I mean, calling that pace is pretty tough, especially with Tippy. I mean, you're probably expecting to lose a little bit off your golds across.
Also
Cloud
funny to
TTC.
say that in that 137.35 pre-carpetless, he failed Toxic Maze BLJ the first go around. We see him just take that huge sigh. You can almost just hear his finger hovering over the reset button before he goes, "No, this is good. I'm just gonna finish it."
And I think it does. I mean, I think it's actually a very illustrative example of, I think if he lets some of these mistakes go and he has to adjust that mindset a little for the LTA, there's no reason he shouldn't win. But that kind of, to me, at least in my mind, that's what the question is. Like, is he gonna, create that kind of higher tolerance for these mistakes, knowing that it's an LTA, knowing that you don't have to get world record, you just have to put up a really good time, which for him is like an okay time. Or is he gonna kind of keep that perfectionist mindset and just, any mistake, if he doesn't like it, if it's not what he's expecting and what he's going for, bam, reset on to the next one.
The key for Ouija, I think, is going to be getting a very good run right out of the gate. If this pace is going to be like years past, all of the runners are going to start off with a no reset, start to finish. If Ouija can put up a top time in that no reset, he should be in good position, because it seems to be an all or nothing approach. If he's got no bar to go up against or a lower bar to go up against, then he's more tolerable of mistakes. But if, say, in this no reset, somebody besides him were to put up a low 138, then Ouija's going to start putting all that extra pressure on himself. He's going to be taking mistakes a lot more strictly, and it's going to be a reset heavy. So bold take here, perhaps. If I'm gonna see Ouija at the top of the leaderboard, I hope it does well in the no reset segment. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle for the whole 3 days.
I have a question for you too. I'm curious, and I don't know that I know the answer to this. Do you think when he makes a mistake, he's overestimating how much time loss that is? Or do you think it's just, and he's saying, oh, like the run's like truly ruined, when maybe it's 10 seconds and he's still 137 capable or 138 capable? Or do you think it's truly like no, I know that's not a lot of time. I know that's a small mistake in the grand scheme of things, but it's annoying to me and it's not what I want. Reset.
I think it's hard for me to judge fairly, not being a top level runner. The only comparison I can throw this out is watching Green Sweegie going for the RTA single stage world records. Is when you're somebody like a Sweegie or a Ouija and you are top level runners across the lower categories like 16 and 70, they've just got that whole new elite level of focus where they are micro analyzing every single thing about movement that they do. Could they possibly be over analyzing some mistakes, like maybe forgetting a side flip? Oh no, perhaps, but they know what they're capable of. They know what they want to put out, and I think that's probably just the biggest gate more than anything. Could there be an overestimation of some mistakes? Yes, but when you have trained your mind to be that competitive and put out the best, you want nothing short of the best.
It's very true. Expectations are really self-imposed expectations are a pretty big killer in speedrunning or in most anything, to be honest. So yeah, no, I think if you're going in with that mindset, you could definitely kind of be a little harder on yourself and to just like keep it locked in. Maybe it works, maybe it helps, you know. Maybe it helps keep you centered and focused and kind of eyes on the prize, you know. But I think it is worth mentioning that, you know, Ouija hasn't really been like super playing the game right now. He's been like here and there doing like D-Rust runs and stuff, but it is worth noting that despite this time off, it kind of seems like he hasn't really lost a beat because he just recently, I think like a week ago at this point, put up the best upstairs door touch of all time with a 101.54, I believe it was, which beat his previous best upstairs time of a 101 like 5x. I think it was like a 57 or something, 58.
Yeah, he had a 101.54 on May 19th. You are correct about that, Zeas.
Yep. So despite the time off, he hasn't really lost it. He's still holding on to it. He is still very much capable of getting a very sick run. But I think it's going to be a lot like you said, Wes. It's got to be like right out of the gate, or else it's just going to be just constantly looking up and trying to go from there. But Ouija can do it. Ouija can do the damn thing, but he's just got to maybe let himself do the damn thing. Who knows?
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think for Ouija, it's all about the mental side of things. In my mind, the way I kind of characterize it is it's a decision he makes. Does he want to put up a run that maybe isn't perfect, and then if he does, he'll win. That's it, first place. Or does he want to go for, you know, shoot for the moon basically and try to get the world record, the 136, and anything short of that isn't good enough. And then, you know, we might see a case where he has his no reset run at the beginning, but other than that, he may not finish a run. I think it really is as simple as that. Like, he kind of is in a position where he can decide whether or not he wants to win. Zeas, you mentioned he, you know, maybe had a little time off, and he clearly hasn't lost it with the great, you know, the best upstairs of all time, or sorry, the best uptime, you know, ever. But I think for me, it's never a question of capability for him. Like, of course he can do it, and of course he doesn't lose that step. It's just like, does he want to do it? You know, does he want to just accept a few mistakes? Put a 130. I mean, because a 138 in all likelihood, you know, there's a good chance a 138 wins this. A 137 almost guarantees a win. Obviously, 136. I would be shocked if a 136 is not is a second place time. You know, but a low 138. Looking at just the top times over the qualifiers we've seen already, we know that, you know, there've only been 4 true 138s with a 136 in there, but, you know, a low 138 that puts you in the top 1 or 2 or 3 times we've already seen. So that's so doable. That's so within his range. And it, you know, he can make a lot of mistakes and still get there. So I think for him, it's just this element of choice. At least that's how I've characterized it. Obviously, who knows what's going on in Ouija's head. But I want to turn to, Zeas, you already started to allude to this, kind of changes from the last qualifier. Wes, I'd love if you want to to walk us through. You came up with this great chart, and it was your idea to kind of look at the leaderboard comparisons from where it was as of March 24th, which was the date of the last qualifier, and where we stand today, both in terms of competitors' PBs and competitors' placement on the leaderboard. What are kind of your big takeaways? What did you see when you were doing this?
I guess let me see if I can bring up the chart here for so people can have an idea of what we are talking about.
Visual aids, and if not, don't stress. We can figure that out in post.
Oh, we've got this. We're professionals around here. I am not gonna. This is all your eggs are in the basket here. I'm not gonna be the one rotten egg in the carton here, boys.
Appreciate that. Really
All right,
saving our
so
jobs.
the visual aid that we've got here, just looking at all of our contestants right now competing in pace. I don't know how this is going to look in post. Maybe we can even zoom in a little bit and go down line by line.
I would do. Yeah, this is the move for sure.
Oh, that's perfect.
So, looking at our contestants that are going to be competing at summer pace, they are going to be highlighted. Ouija is naturally sitting at number 1, still holding on to the world record for now. We have been seeing some hot movement on the board. If I'm allowed to even divert outside of the pace conversation,
please.
One of the most impressive movements on the board has been Simply here, crawling up into the top 5, going from the 137, I believe, 5x territory to 137.12. The man notably did not participate in a single qualifier, has been labbing it and been flirting with 136, may even be contention of world record right now as we're still in the 136 territory.
Wes, let me interrupt you just because I want to. It was his time as of March 24th was even crazier, the jump he's had. It was a 138.07. So almost shaving off a minute of time in the last 2 months. Obviously, I love Simply. I'm a huge fan. Come on the pod, please. Every episode I ask you. But yeah, Wes, thank you for highlighting that because it's been so fun seeing Simply just go on a tear and just move right up the leaderboards here.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we saw Parsi also get their first 136, and Kareen has now posted a couple of 136s himself. They had the first 136 with a 136, I believe it was 4x. They got down to 136.29, and now they also, I believe, they got another 136 just within the last week, but it wasn't a PB, but another one to add to their chart. Looking at now 7, 8, and 9, we see 3 of our contestants here: Cheese, Punkay, and Beast Assassin. Cheese and Punkay have Cheese has had no PBs, but has been notably doing a whole bunch of no reset run attempts on stream on Twitch, has been incredibly active, and I think is what's going to bode well for him the most as we're heading into the LTA. It's just getting mentally ready for no reset runs. No matter what happens, this is going to finish. This is what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to bode well for him there. What do you guys think about Cheese's progress?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think the strategy of keeping these kind of no resets and working on it's just an exercise in building consistency overall, which is almost funny to say because it's what he's already known for. But look, I mean, we'll talk about this more, I think, going into our predictions. But I feel really, really good about Cheese coming into this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on some really, really good pacers among this stretch of doing no resets. Just like a lot of really good runs, definitely capable of that 136. I just feel like a lot of these runners are capable of 136. Like they've been on those runs, like they've had the paces going. It's just a matter of being able to seal the deal. And, I think Cheese is competitive enough to really push himself to get to that level. And who knows? Maybe the ultimate pop off might be at the finals. He's been flirting with it. He's been flirting with it for a little bit.
I always love seeing a Cheese pop off.
It's true. The cheese plot armor is real. We can't forget about it. We can't forget about the cheese plot armor.
True.
Punkay has also been doing some runs pretty actively, has improved his PB by 3 seconds, but like Cheese, he has slipped a couple places down the leaderboard as Parsi and Simply made their moves up the leaderboard. And of course, right below Punkay, we've got the biggest improvement, which was days after the qualifier. Admittedly, I did not get around to watching the video. Go watch the Beast Assassin interview video here on the Pace Pals channel. Video thumbnail is likely going to be here on the video right here edited, or if not, there's a link in the description down below. 38-second PB going into the 137 category and hopping up into the top 10. Absolutely stunning stuff there from Beast Assassin and Callie, who has been incredibly active over the last couple of months. He's been averaging 6 hours and 20 minutes a stream of exclusive Mario 64 gameplay and practice. The dude is just nonstop grinding. He has not been slowed down from the move all the way out here to Colorado. Whoop, whoop. Improving that PB to a 137.47, not making a move up on the leaderboard yet, but that is where I'm wondering. We I think, discussed even the last qualifier. Callie, big time grinder, huge practice. I wonder if that consistency in practice is going to come into play for him here come pace time.
I mean, it's always going to be a factor. You know, Callie, again, another one of those runners, just super, super capable of putting up that 136 time. Maybe even a lower 137. He's still kind of chilling in that mid 137 territory. So yeah, I mean, you know, we know that Callie loves the in-person environment. Like he enjoys being on stage and competing. And I feel like a lot of things just change for runners when they end up getting up on that stage. Like you can talk about how you're gonna feel or whatever, like predict how you're gonna feel, but you know, you just never know until you get up there. And I think Callie will seize the moment a little bit. A little carpe diem action from Callie here. Maybe drop that PB by a little bit.
Would love to see a live Callie PB at the final. I mean, this is it. This is, you know, we've talked about it before. Callie's missed the podium by a handful of seconds on aggregate over the last few paces, and so it'd be great to see Callie finally break into that top 3.
And we've got our last 2 competitors here at the bottom. We've got Gothic Logic and Blue Bob. Gothic Logic has notably been absent from run attempts since the end of the last qualifier. I can say that as of yesterday, I noticed in a Discord that I'm a part of, that he's also in, he was talking back and forth with people about camera optimization and DDD 100 plus reds. So perhaps he has gone back into practice getting ready to get into the competitive mindset. But of course, let's not forget about the 120 GOAT of Canada, Blue Bob, who has gotten a 17-second PB after a failed carpetless attempt too. So clear. That's 138 crazy. Run. Blue Bob still powered through and got a PB. No movement on the leaderboard from either of these guys, but clear signs of improvement here from Blue Bob and Gothic Logic, who we did even though we all talked about Gothic season, we all predicted Gothic was going to be last on the LTA, and it looks like with no practice, maybe it might be bound for the course here. Could that be foreshadowing, or am I just being a little pessimistic? Is this still Gothic season?
Not a Gothic hater, first of all. That we can't give that disclaimer enough. Like, put it in bold on the screen right here. Not a Gothic hater. No, Gothic's getting a PB at pace. We already said it. We talked about it with him in the interview. Mm-hmm. He needs, you know, to think that I'm a hater to motivate him. That's my role in this. I don't want to brag. I'm kind of a huge part of him PBing. But this is it. This is the culmination of the 8 or 9 or however many PBs he's had in the past like 6 months. You know, this is it right here.
Yeah, it's all going to come to a head. It's all going to come to a head. I think this finals is going to be a very unique situation for a lot of runners, because it's just a bunch of people who have been like so close to what they know they're capable of, that something's bound to happen. Something's got to give. You know, you can't get all these runners in a room for 3 days only playing Mario and something's not going to happen. You know, something's got to pop off. Someone's got to throw a chair like Hungry Box, or, you know, I don't know. We don't condone that. Happen.
I mean, we are in Maryland. We could also throw crabs.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, we don't condone chair throwing that, but like, if it happened, I mean,
to the extent that we will not be held liable for anyone's decision to do that.
True.
We're not
if it were to happen,
we're not insurrecting anything.
Of course, no, of course.
Although I did tweet, you know, after the Hungry Box pop off at the Smash tournament, that someone has to yeet a chair at pace, verbatim, quote unquote. But like, no responsibility taken for anyone's decision to do so. Right. Milo, Milo, nothing to do with it, man. Don't look this way.
Also, we already got the Milo interview, so.
Huge.
What?
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
a Milo interview coming up?
Oh, it'll be dropped by the time this bad boy
yeah.
drops.
What?
Oh yeah. The first time you did that, I thought you actually said what.
I wish I was Little John sometimes.
Yeah, no. Something's got to give. Something's got to give at these finals. Something's got to give for Cali. Something's got to give for Gothic. Something's got to give for Blue Bob. All these runners who are, I don't know what just happened. The audio just doubled there for a second. We can edit that out.
I don't think it came through on my end, so you're good.
Okay, cool.
Let us know in the comments below if you heard double audio. Engagement farming.
We're gonna fire our audio tech guy if you did hear anything.
Oh shit.
What was that? What the?
I clicked on the wrong boom. I was trying to do this. You're gonna fire the audio guy?
Yeah, it's a huge operation here at Pace Pals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, something's got to give. I'm expecting to see something here.
You keep saying something's got to give. I'm just expecting you to break out into a song right there. Something's got to give. Ah, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Oh man.
So we're gonna watch the Marios hit the floor, right?
Watch the Marios hit the floor.
Wes, do you want to karaoke that at Pace?
Do I want to? I don't know. If it's popularly demanded, maybe. If you're going to Pace and want to see Wes Dog karaoke, let the bodies hit the floor, maybe leave a comment down below. Farm engagement everywhere we can, folks.
Exactly.
True.
It's the name of the game. It's the business.
All right, so yeah, we've gone through the charts. I guess just I don't know if we're allowed to go on another random tangent here,
Yeah.
but something I've enjoyed seeing improvement, some outside of 120 star. We've seen some developments in the category extensions leaderboard. We've seen 2 alt trees connoisseurs help bring the category onto the leaderboard,
True.
and we possibly got all animals around the corner. Do you perhaps think we'll see ever an all trees or an all animals run at Pace one of these days?
Oh, God willing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And I mean, like, all trees, I feel like if anyone's going to do it, it has to be Wes Dog. I feel like Wes Dog has to be the guy to do the all trees run. And obviously, Karina would have to do the all animals run.
Karina would have to do the all animals.
Like, it's the only way it could be. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm kind of shocked that we don't get a lot more category representation at Pace. But at the same time, I understand it because it's a Mario, like, kind of centric event. Like, everyone that goes there is mostly there for the LTA, and like, you don't want to oversaturate the schedule with a bunch of Mario stuff, so I can understand like not really wanting to include category extensions, but maybe someday.
If we ever did have a Mario 64 showcase, I'd love it if people just came out and represent all the category extensions. But yeah, Pace is for the greater speedrunning community as a whole. It isn't just for Mario 64 runs. As much as I'd love to see the trees. I just fucking love trees! Unfortunately, this is probably not going to be the time for that. We'll have to, if anybody's going to be tree hugging, you're going to have to do it outside the venue.
True. IRL all trees run, though.
Mm-hmm.
IRL all trees.
All trees in
Could
Laurel.
happen. Could happen.
Damn. How many trees are in Laurel? As somebody who's never been there.
Like a couple.
I looked into an actual IRL all trees run, not for Laurel because that's too much ground, but for the venue at Xanadu. And unfortunately, there's a good number of trees inside the actual horse track area.
Oh.
So I don't know if I want to risk getting banned from the entire venue just because I want to go hug some trees.
But think of the clicks.
Think of the clout.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta do it at like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something when nobody's there.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be able to tell unless they got like cameras or something.
I did even think about that too. If there ever was a time you do it late at night, there'd only be one security guard. You just simply say, "Is this like, yeah, hi? So you first of all break out the camera. You'd be amazed at how many things you're allowed to get away with as long as you got a video camera. We're doing this for charity. We're trying to see if we can hug all the trees." As long as we speak politely and cooperate, surely we'd be able to get off with just a warning.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it
Exactly.
at the end of the day. So I don't know. We got to get like the biggest Rizzler at Pace to go up to the security guard and just say like, all trees, make some money for charity.
So you're saying that's your job, Zeas.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't call
Zeas,
myself
the
biggest
Rizzler.
Clearly, the biggest Rizzler is Geo, but it sounds like he's not going to make it out this time.
I'm not. No, Zeas, I can't compete with Zeas' Riz. You kidding me? Come on.
We gotta get
smile.
GTM out there. GTM's got Riz.
True. Waving around his luscious locks.
It's true. It's true. That man's got gray hair.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Just hypnotize the security guard with it. You're set. GTM, this is on you.
It'll
speaking
be like
speaking of Riz, if we're going down the board, how about we talk about the man with arguably the most Riz representing the Mario 64 community for OnlyFans? We got Cheese.
Very true.
I don't know if that was a good thing to say or not. We could edit that out. Maybe we can retake that.
We're fine. Leave it in. You're not right. These are just facts.
These are.
I know facts. He had an OnlyFans at one point. I don't know if he's still active or not.
Yeah, if anyone wants to like look into that for us, feel free to
below.
Link in the description. Go check out Jesus OnlyFans. See if he's still active. Do a little investigative journalism for us.
Can we get paid for this endorsement or no? Cheese.
We'll talk to Cheese. We'll talk to him.
Cheese, just write the check to me. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Venmo me. It's perfect. Or Cash App. We're not exclusive.
Either one.
We'll take money in either way. We're not exclusive until one of the two sponsors us. And then I'm all in. I'm all in on one of those. Oh, man. Bringing it back to a Pace Finals, I want to kind of go through, Wes. The chart was phenomenal, talking about what each runners have been up to. We have a few tidbits on kind of each of them, based on their how active they've been over the past couple months. And then after that, I do want to look. We got to revisit our predictions. All right, we got to look them in the face, and I want to gut check on what you each said 2 months ago, and we'll see. I'll do it too. It's not gonna be good. I don't like my predictions. I can already tell you that. They're not even wrong yet. They will be, but they're not wrong yet. But before we do that, let's kind of jump in. Ouija we already talked about a lot, which makes sense. He's an exciting runner to talk about and what he's capable of. But we've talked about how it's all about, it's this perfectionism versus consistency battle. He's on the perfectionism side of that spectrum. And I did note, I went through the run.gg, and I did note that there was a stretch of just to kind of highlight how reset heavy he can be and to kind of give an idea of maybe what his current mentality, and maybe that carries over into Pace in a week and a half. But there was a stretch of 63 straight lobbies I saw he reset in, without getting to basement. And I did see of the last 200 runs, only 7 made it out of lobby, which is, it just highlights like he really is so selective in his criteria and what he decides to take on. And that's early in the game. That's lobby. That's the first 23 minutes of the run, 22x minutes of the run. So it's going to be interesting to see if he kind of keeps that mentality as he goes into Pace, or if these were for him world record attempts. Obviously, he had the best uptime ever very recently. And he makes that adjustment going to Pace. He knows it's an LTA, and he says, hey, I got to change my threshold a little. We're going to be a little more tolerant of mistakes. We're going to take a 138, and we're going to win it with that. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. I did think it was pretty crazy to see kind of how reset heavy he has been lately. It seems to me, I don't have a standard of comparison, but that seems like very reset heavy to me.
I am just going to be curious to see how, Zeas brought it up perfectly. It seems no matter how long he may step away from, he comes back without losing a beat. And with the introduction now to the newest Moist Critical $10,000 speedrun challenge with another Crab's Treasure, I know he messed around with that for a little bit a few days ago. So I wonder if Ouija, being a 2-time Moist speedrun winner, might be focusing on perhaps trying to get another $10,000 crown before deciding to go back into Mario. Maybe it might be the good reset he needs to really recalibrate his mental state going into Pace. I could be completely full of it. What do you guys think?
I don't think that's like a bad way to look at it. Like I think that's a pretty good way to look at it because I mean, if you're not really like super feeling Mario, like one of the ways that you can really kind of fix that and center yourself back up is just playing a different game. I mean, I did that with Sunshine like at the beginning of last year. I was like having a really tough stretch in SM64 and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to step away. Just gonna not think about SM64, and I played Sunshine for a couple months, and then I come back to SM64, and within like a few runs, I already had a PB that I was trying to get for a long time. So taking on this other speed game and just kind of like working your brain in a different way and learning something new can definitely help out the mental a little bit. Maybe get some more runs at a lobby for Ouija.
Wes, normally I think I would disagree and say I think preparation is the best, and I think what Callie and Cheese have been doing are the best route. But I think for Ouija, it's just like a different case. Like it's the rules just like don't apply to Ouija in the same way. And I think you might be right. I think Ouija kind of does need this like mental refresh to then come back, to the game to pace without these like expectations and the same frustration to kind of let all of that go, be cleansed of it, and then hit the ground running. So it'll be interesting to see if it pays off and how it plays out for him for sure. Looking also at Cheese, we highlighted this before, so I won't touch on it too much, but we just talked about how consistent Cheese is. Cheese has finished runs of 138.04, 139.18, and 137.37 all since the last qualifiers. And he's on this grind of kind of doing a lot of no resets, finishing runs. I think it's really going to pay off. I mean, that's very impressive consistency to me. And when you apply that in an ultra focused environment like Pace is, in a place where he's had success in the past, I think Cheese is looking really good for this weekend or for next weekend. Whenever this drops, I guess this doesn't drop now. So for the Pace.
Yeah, I mean, Cheese is always somebody that's going to be looking really good going into any live event. We did mention the Cheese plot armor earlier. So, he just shows up at live events. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he's just a natural born performer or something. He's got that music background, loves being on stages and performing in front of people and being, an entertainer and things like that. So, something about being on stage just does it for Cheese, man. He's just a different beast when he gets on stage. And I don't think this year's going to be any different. He took last year off, did not do summer pace, so I think he's going to be excited to get back on stage and perform live again.
I do know Cheese is going to be arriving early to the venue. In fact, he might even be packing up and traveling as we speak, because being one of the leads of the global speedrun organization, he has talked about on stream having to go there early to help get things set up with Milo and any of the crew that they've got on hand. So I wonder if just having that extra bit of time to travel, decompress, and get fully used to the environment might bode well for him when it comes time for competition.
That's a great point. I think there's also a time change in there, and I know his stream schedule takes into account some of that already, if I'm not mistaken. I'm all messed up with time zones because I've moved across 3 time zones recently, but I think that'll kind of help to readjust. Obviously, Pace is in the morning, is it not? It starts morning Eastern hours.
It's like 10 a.m. usually.
Yeah, it's a morning. That's before noon. We'll count that. So yeah, I think there could be a benefit to that as well.
It's like a QB walking out on the field before the Super Bowl when nobody's in the stadium, just like looking around, getting a feel for the environment. It's like that's what Cheese is going to be doing at the venue.
We need the video of Cheese just sitting in the venue, empty, just visualizing.
He's just in the audience, just staring at the stage. Oh, that'd be a hard picture.
It is scheduled to start every day that it goes on at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Still morning. We'll count that. Dub.
Extra hour of sleep for the attendees.
True. Also a little more friendly to the West Coasters out here.
True.
The last thing I wanted to point out before I make us all face our predictions. and you guys should jump on after this if you have anything you want to cover before then. But I want to point out too, the same vein is kind of cheese, but Punke's consistency. Obviously, on that chart, we didn't necessarily see anything appreciable by Punke. A 3-second PB, which is, PB is a PB, and he's fallen 2 spots with Parsi and Simply jumping him. That said, Punke's finished 3 137s in the last 21 days. As of this recording, that's pretty incredible. A 137.31, a 43, and a 36. I mean, the guy is so consistent, and this is where consistency shines. So, don't sleep on Punke. This is the kind of tournament that Punke is designed to win, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the consistency factor with Punke is huge. That is definitely one of the things he is most notably known for in the Mario community. And going into this, we have brought it up in past episodes. Punke is, as it stands, the back-to-back pace champion. Has taken first in the last 2 paces. So gonna be eyeing that 3P, and I think he's kind of getting hot in SM64 at the right time, putting up these consistent 137s. We'll touch on it in the predictions a little bit, but that Ouija hurdle is gonna be pretty big. Whether Punke is gonna get the 3P, officially establishing a pace dynasty, it's gonna really depend on Ouija. It's gonna really depend on Ouija, but we know Punke is gonna show up either way.
I do recall sometime in April that Punke did express concern that he might have been, I think it was the term was doomed to mediocrity. So I wondered if he was starting to get in his own head a little bit, which seems very, at least very peculiar from my standpoint as a casual viewer of Punke. He seems to be one of the more stoic runners out there that doesn't express too much emotion or concern. So to see Punke really start digging deep, like, oh boy, am I good enough? Am I actually capable of being able to compete at a high level going forward, was very new. And honestly, power to Punke for actually wanting to be vulnerable and open with us as the public, and in some cases a lot of his friends like that. I think whatever he was going through, whatever the circumstances were, it seems like since the start of May, he has found a good bounce back effort. He's been back to streaming consistently, those 3 137s, and those have all been good. Those have been, he basically is the bar, like you guys have said. He is the 2-time defending champion. He displays the most consistency throughout any of the live events. He is the bar. I wonder if he realizes that. If anybody is going, if there's any hill you got to climb to get to the top, it's got to be the hill of Punkation Nation.
Punkation Nation.
Police station.
And I think it's interesting too, because so much of to your point, Wes, a lot of this, the community is revolves around the leaderboard, and we've seen that Punke's fallen a couple spots. Punke is, perennially at the top of the leaderboard, excuse me. But now he's sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place, and that's lower than he's accustomed to being over the past, 5 years, longer probably, right? 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much always just been at the top. 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seems like it. Yeah.
And so, it's funny to see, not funny, but it's interesting to see him kind of struggling with those thoughts and questions about his gameplay, when to us, he's still at the top. He's won pace 2 times in a row. He's posting these 137s consistently. When it comes down to it in an LTA setting, he's one of the best ever. Even from a world record perspective, he's one of the best ever. He's just, in due time, I'm sure he will find his way back at the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Punke can complete the 3-peat. I think he's kind of peaking. He's playing exactly how he needs to play right now to do that. That level of consistency is exactly what you need to win pace. Do we want to jump into our predictions, or is there any last call outs you two want to throw out?
It will be, I guess, just to segue into predictions a little bit, I will likely be reordering Beast Assassin's location, because I know, I don't know if he perhaps still has his splits synced up to the run GG, but it seems like he hasn't had any active runs since April, with a tweet coming out on April 22nd stating that he broke his glasses I wonder if this has possibly debilitated him from doing runs, because the only activity I've seen him do was 2 streams from 15 and 7 days ago, respectively, each of them practicing upstairs RTA and practice in the stages there. So has the beast gone dormant? It would perhaps be a time for an awakening, or is he still just kind of in hibernation mode, waiting for summer to come around?
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. It does seem like he's been focused a little more on kind of the segment RTA and practice type streams lately, which is interesting. But a lot of people swear by that leading into it's kind of like a final tune up before you go in for the race. It'll be interesting to see if that strategy plays out, and especially Beast coming off of the peak of his Mario career 2 months ago, with winning the third qualifier and then days later dropping a 137. I could go either way on this. If you don't have the full run practice, is that going to create a little bit of a rust issue? It's a rest versus rust, I feel like. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So Beast is one that you call out, and where would you, Wes? I guess we've segued into it. Wes, you had Beast as your 5th spot. You still feel good about that? Up or down?
Compared to Blue Bob and Gothic Logic, I might swap out Beast with Blue Bob. Before we get too into it, I've got some hot off the press messaging here from Gothic Logic, if you guys would like to hear.
Oh man, breaking news! Yeah, break it.
I don't know about news, but I noticed that he is active in a Discord right now, so I know he's online, to which I just literally messaged while we were recording this. It seems there haven't been many streams or recorded run attempts since the last quals. Wanted to ask, have you still been practicing the game? If so, how much lately? How's your confidence with a week to go before the event kicks off? To which Gothic has replied, I've practiced a little bit, but not as much as I could / should have. I don't mind it so much, though, because if I practiced way more, I'd have higher expectations, and as a result, I'd probably play a lot worse. I usually play better with low expectations. In my practice, I haven't really felt rusty at all, and have been getting solid times without much time put in, so I'm all right on things, really. I want to do at least 1 to 2 runs beforehand just to get used to doing runs again, for doing it fully, and to build endurance a bit.
This is reporting
Hashtag
as hashtag Gothic season, baby. Throw it up. Throw up the signs. But that's live reporting during a recording. That's crazy. Shout out Wes Dog.
Shout out Wes Dog.
My God. He's on the scene.
We got to get you your media credentials for Pace. we chatted with Milo about that.
Since we have been talking about people practicing aggressively and then other people just coming in with lower expectations, I wonder if Gothic perhaps might need to come up from the bottom of the leaderboard there. Might need to shake things up. But rather than digging down to the bottom, do you want to just start from the top? We'll reorder 1 through 7, Gio, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna change. Well, maybe I might. So I had Callie leading the way, and I do want Callie to win, and I feel good about Callie's been putting in the time, been really committed. But having all this talk about Punke and Cheese's consistency is making me rethink things. I had Punke and Cheese sitting at 2 and 3. I might bump up Punke Cheese to 1, 2 and drop Callie to 3. And maybe this is, I don't think it's more rooting with my heart, but I do want Callie to be on the podium so badly. I want that so badly for Callie. I'm a huge Callie fan, so it would be great to see that. I'm gonna reorder my top 3 to go Punke, Cheese, Callie. I might sit on the rest. I have Beast, Ouija, Blue Bob, Gothic. Ouija sitting at 5th is like a little strange, but at the end of the day, in my head, it's just like it's up to Ouija whether he wants to be at the top or not, and so I have no control over that, and so it feels like a crapshoot almost. I feel like in my head, I think Ouija's gonna win number 1, or I think Ouija's gonna be in the bottom 3.
So for me, I had Ouija, Callie, Punke, Cheese, Beast, Blue Bob, and Gothic. I think for me, I'm still gonna take Ouija in the 1 spot. I still feel pretty good about that prediction. It's the most logical take, in my opinion. But I also share Geo sentiment talking about this consistency with Cheese and Punke. I think I'm gonna swap Callie and Cheese in my predictions. So Cheese is gonna move into the 2 spot. Callie is gonna move into the 4 spot with Punke still staying at 3. Beast, Blue Bob, and Gothic rounding out the bottom 3. I still feel like decent about that. I think Blue Bob's been playing pretty well lately, but I don't know, Gothic, I just feel like he could pop out with like a really good 138 time. Like I just have a good feeling about that. So someone's got to come in last, guys. Someone's got to come in last. Okay, I'm swapping Blue Bob and Gothic for 6 and 7. I'm swapping. It's the comeback kid. I know, but it's also
Consistently, Zeas has been the biggest Blue Bob hater out there. He tries to play himself off as this comeback kid champion, but every time, at every twist and turn, it's a middle finger to Blue Bob.
someone has to come in last, man. And does Gothic season outweigh comeback player of the year? I don't know. It's so hard to tell.
Wow.
It's so hard to tell. Blue Bob is a fantastic guy. I want to see him succeed, but we're
Not that badly.
journalists.
You don't want to see
We
him
got-
succeed that badly.
We gotta. I don't know, man. I'm swapping them. I don't care. So, new order: Ouija, Cheese, Punke, Callie, Beast, Gothic, Blue Bob. That is my new prediction order. That is what we're locking in.
It's nice of you to even consider Blue Bob coming in 7th. I thought you would just say a big did not finish on there.
Even a DNF would still be 7th. Even a DNF
I don't want to
would
hear
still
it.
be
It just sounds like excuses at this point.
Oh, I'm cooked, man. I'm so cooked.
Oh.
Wesley, please give your predictions. Take the heat off.
This
me,
is like,
man.
Wes, please talk. I don't want anyone focusing on me anymore.
I'm really at a loss here. I honestly don't know what to do in regards to the predictions this go around. I'm trying to I don't like the order that I originally put it in. So I went Cheese in first, Punkane in second, Callie in third, Ouija fourth, Beast 5, Blue Bob 6, and Gothic at 7. But right now I don't feel comfortable with any of those runners really finishing in either of those spots, besides maybe Beast and Blue Bob being 6th and 5th respectively. Maybe even, I don't even know with that, with possibly Gothic logic. I'd still have to be a Gothic hater, I suppose, and stick him down at 7th, because he is, it sounds like he's there mentally, but I remember putting him down at 7th because I still don't know how that's going to translate to performing in front of a live audience with also hundreds of people possibly watching at home with commentators in the ear. I don't know, simply with how Gothic is going to react to the live environment. So I think I'll swap Beast and Blue Bob for the time being, just simply because Beast hasn't given us much to really go off of. I'm probably going to redo these, honestly, before the LTA kicks off, but I'll go bottom 3 are Blue Bob, Beast, and Gothic. But for the top 4, I mean, it's just it's like, I wish I just had like Doctor Strange superpowers right now. I can already imagine all these different scenarios and timelines right now, but I don't know what's going to be the one to play out here. Which, I mean, I'm glad none of us do, because otherwise we would be rigging the college basketball tournament every single year. I think I have. Oof. It's exactly like you said, Gio. Ouija is either going to be the top dog or he's just going to finish middle of the pack. And I don't know how much weight I want to put on that opening run for him right now. I think just with a fresh reset right out of the gate, you know what? I'm going to say this. The dynasty doesn't happen. Punke will not finish at the top of the leaderboard. I will still have Plot Armor first, Callie at second, Punke at third, and Ouija at fourth. So I'm swapping my 2 and 3 and my 5 and 6 for now.
There you go. There it is. Callie, silver medalist, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Gotta give him his podium finish.
I guess I'm putting a lot of bias right now on the 2 people exhibiting the most practice and the most endurance right now for the 120 category.
I love it. revised predictions. It's going to be amazing to see how those are equally wrong from our first ones, and that it is some alternative that none of us saw. It's going to be really cool.
Watch
We'll
the first
recap
ones be more
those.
accurate.
It's one of those things, yeah. Like maybe we should have just trusted our guts.
I don't know. My gut last time for the qualifiers was like really bad, so
Oh. Well, my gut's going through acid reflux right now, so I don't know what to trust right
that's
now.
not peak performance either. You don't like to see that.
Mm-mm.
Before we round it up, we hadn't talked about this, but I just kind of had this idea. Anyone have any bold predictions? And I'll kick us off. Bold predictions. It doesn't have to be about like rankings, but my first one will be tied to that. I have two. My first one, Ouija will not finish in second or third. I would bet everything that he will not be a second or third place finisher because I just think it's either top or it's like a 140 or a high 139 for him. I don't see him coming in with even like a low 139. I don't think will happen because that's not good enough for him to finish. Even in I don't know. I just think you can bet on it if betting's legal in your state and some sports book has these options somehow. Ouija will not finish in second or third. That's one of my bold predictions.
I do know Sextall puts off a competition for people to predict who finishes what and what times there, so that'd be the place to go and quote make the bets.
There it is. I need a prop bet.
My bold prediction is the first live 137 is going to happen this summer. I don't know who's going to do it, but we're going to see the first live 137. And I mean, like, truly live, because technically you can say Ouija got the first live 136, but in a live environment with a crowded audience, we're going to see the first live 137 here. And also to stroke my own ego, I think my 70-star randomizer run prior to the final day will go over estimate. I don't see that going well at all.
Damn.
Oh,
Bold prediction for me. I also think we're going to see the first 137 live, but I also think we're going to see the first 136 live. Wes and Geo, we're going to see the first 136 at a live event.
And it's going to be Gothic
around.
Logic. Gothic
And
season.
it's going to be Gothic. It's either going to be Puke, Cheese, or Ouija to do it, but I think one of them could possibly bust it out. And to up the ante, second bold prediction, world record.
Oh, shit.
World record at pace.
Wow.
I don't know. That's my bold take.
That has got to be the boldest take ever I've ever heard.
That would be spectacular. When is the last time a world record happened at a live event? I'm pretty sure it was Cheese.
Cheese break the record.
Break the record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Haven't seen it in a long time. So.
Oh yeah.
Now that 120's kind of become a different category ever since then. It seems like a good time for it.
I'm going to take a copium take here and I guess piggyback off Zeas. If we do see a live world record happen at pace, it's going to be Ouija.
Yeah.
Ouija would be the one to get the live world record. Will it be a 135? I don't know, but if anybody does it, it'll be him. I don't see anybody getting close.
I kind of agree with that. I think it's going to be Ouija or no one for world record.
Who's going to be on comms for the live world record? Who's going to be able to call the world record? I hope it's selfishly me and Wes.
That'd be sick.
I mean, I can say selfishly too. I always want to be around for every single big moment imaginable, but we're just gonna have to wait and let it play out.
It's very true.
All right, one final bold prediction from me. Blue Bob gets a 138. Lock it in. He should have had it before. The carpetless death was the weirdest death I've ever seen. He missed a wall kick on like a backup that was not supposed to be challenging. Lock in the 138. He's getting it.
Let's lock it in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right. Before we officially wrap up, does anyone have any concluding thoughts? Anything they want to say?
This is not going to matter at the time this episode is dropping, or maybe it will have widespread implications, but Simply's on a heater right now.
Wait,
135.51 best possible time in TTM, minus 25 on PB.
Oh,
Do we keep the
shit.
episode going and pace pal the run live?
Wait, am I gonna have volume playing in a second? No, we're gonna muted. Legend. I was so quick with that mute. Nobody's quicker on the mute. Quickest mute in the West.
So, Zeus, I have a bold proposition.
What's up?
You and I should ask Milo to get opening shift for the first day of the LTA so we can have an informal episode of Pace Pals live. We'll be the commentators to make the calls, and we'll even get our predictions going live as to who do we think is going to have the fastest time here in the opening run. What do you think?
Do it.
I think it'd be great. I know Milo has kind of already talked to us a little bit about, maybe doing some stuff at future bases. So
He's already greenlit content collaboration type stuff, so
Hey,
oh yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, that'd be cool. If we could get the opening shift together, that'd be dope. We could look into it. We could talk to him.
And the other concluding thoughts is just the days are getting closer. The anxiousness and the excitement is budding, but I know it's gonna be a good time to see everybody out there.
Yeah, Pace is gonna be a banger. Pace is always a banger. Gio, you're gonna be there in spirit, man.
I'm
You're
gonna have
be there
major
in spirit.
FOMO. I'm gonna have such bad FOMO the whole time. Fall.
It was
Fall.
It was actually kind of funny. The last summer Pace, I think Blue Bob couldn't make it, so I think it was Twisted Tay was walking around with a phone with a selfie of Blue Bob on it, and she was like, "Want to take a picture with Blue Bob before you go?"
Wait, I love
He
that,
has really
actually.
bad FOMO and like wants to take pictures with
That's so
people.
good. I kind of want to copy it. If I had thought about this ahead of time, I would have like sent you a cardboard cutout of my head or something.
I might need to do that with Gio and Tay. Make it go full circle because I know Tay's not going to be around this go around because
She's getting married.
she is getting married.
Like what?
Yeah.
Instead of Pace? Get married at Pace. What are you doing?
True.
He got Breezeless. Let's go.
Missed out on the great GSA content there. Unfortunately, or maybe rather fortunately speaking, marriage is not a speed run. You need to take your time, and you need to make sure you have good communication and good pace with one another. Do not ever speed run marriage.
Okay, I've been doing it wrong.
Then I say, take my advice, what you will. I am a single man, so
Yeah, same. Don't take advice from the two single guys.
By speedrunning my
I'm
marriage,
a product
I'll
of
be a single man.
of a couple who's been happily married for the last 36 years.
There you go. That counts.
There you go. Yeah.
You got great examples to follow.
Adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hi, Mom. You're
Yeah.
totally watching this. I know it.
Hi, Wes's mom. Make
Hi,
her watch.
Wes's
Make her
mom.
subscribe. I'll make my parents subscribe. On that note, I think that's it for the pre-pace talk. I think then all that's left to do is for you two to go to pace, for us to see a world record, for Blue Bob to get a 138, and for Gothic to drop a 136.
I think it's written into the timeline. I think it's set in stone. It's bound to happen.
We will probably do a recap of Pace after, which will be the next episode. But until then, everyone, I hope you all enjoy Pace. I hope you have enjoyed the pre-Pace coverage. And thanks for tuning in as always. If you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe. Share the video. Anything helps. Really appreciate all your support over the first 20 videos or however many we've done so far. Y'all are the real ones. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We were here for the Simply PB. Bye.
Oh, I was here.